The BT-7 was the final and most advanced version of the Soviet BT fast tank series. Introduced in the late 1930s, it combined high speed with improved firepower and reliability compared to earlier BT models. Armed with a 45mm gun, the BT-7 could effectively engage early enemy armored vehicles. Its Christie suspension allowed exceptional mobility across open terrain, making it one of the fastest tanks in the world at the time. The BT-7 saw combat during the early stages of World War II, but suffered heavy losses against better-armed German forces. Still, it helped prepare Soviet crews and engineers for the arrival of the legendary T-34. The T-18, also known as the MS-1, was the Soviet Union's first domestically produced tank. Introduced in 1928, it marked the beginning of Soviet armored vehicle development after the Russian Civil War. Inspired partly by the French Renault FT design, the T-18 featured a small rotating turret and light armor protection suitable for infantry support roles. Although slow and lightly armed with a 37mm gun, it helped Soviet engineers learn critical lessons about tank production and battlefield mobility. The T-18 never played a major role in large conflicts, but served as a stepping stone toward more advanced Soviet tank designs. It laid the foundation for one of the world's most powerful armored forces. The BT-2 was one of the Soviet Union's first fast tanks and entered service in 1932. Based on the American Christie suspension system, the BT-2 could travel at extremely high speeds for its time, even capable of running on wheels without tracks. This mobility gave Soviet forces a new tactical advantage and helped shape future armored warfare doctrine focused on speed and maneuver. However, its armor was thin and vulnerable to enemy fire. Despite these weaknesses, the BT-2 played a major role in developing the Soviet fast tank series. Its design directly influenced the legendary T-34 that followed years later. The BT-7 was the final and most advanced version of the Soviet BT fast tank series. Introduced in the late 1930s, it combined high speed with improved firepower and reliability compared to earlier BT models. Armed with a 45mm gun, the BT-7 could effectively engage early enemy armored vehicles. Its Christie suspension allowed exceptional mobility across open terrain, making it one of the fastest tanks in the world at the time. The BT-7 saw combat during the early stages of World War II, but suffered heavy losses against better-armed German forces. Still, it helped prepare Soviet crews and engineers for the arrival of the legendary T-34. The T-26 was one of the most widely produced Soviet tanks of the 1930s and served as a primary infantry support vehicle before World War II. Based on the British Vickers tank design, it featured a reliable chassis and a powerful 45mm gun for its time. The T-26 saw combat in Spain, Mongolia, Finland, and the early battles against Germany. Although effective during the early 1930s, its thin armor made it vulnerable by the start of World War II. Thousands were lost during Operation Barbarossa in 1941. Even so, the T-26 played a crucial role in shaping Soviet armored doctrine before the arrival of more advanced tanks. The T-28 was an early Soviet medium tank designed during the 1930s as a breakthrough vehicle. Its most distinctive feature was its multi-turret layout, with one main gun turret supported by two smaller machine gun turrets in front. This design allowed it to engage multiple targets at once during infantry support operations. The T-28 saw combat in the Winter War against Finland and during the early stages of World War II. Although powerful for its time, it proved difficult to maintain and vulnerable to modern anti-tank weapons. Still, it represented an important step in Soviet heavy armored vehicle experimentation before simpler and more effective designs replaced it. The KV-1 was one of the most heavily armored tanks in the world when it entered service in 1939. Named after Soviet Defense Minister Kliment Voroshilov, the KV-1 shocked German forces during the early stages of Operation Barbarossa. Its thick armor made it nearly immune to most German anti-tank weapons at the time. Even the standard German Panzer guns struggled to penetrate it. However, the KV-1 was slow and mechanically unreliable, which limited its effectiveness in fast-moving battles. Despite these weaknesses, it played a crucial role in slowing the German advance during the early years of World War II. The KV-2 was designed as a breakthrough assault tank capable of destroying enemy bunkers and fortified positions. It carried a powerful 152mm howitzer mounted inside a huge box-shaped turret. This gave the KV-2 enormous firepower, but also made the vehicle extremely heavy and difficult to operate. Its tall turret silhouette made it an easy target on open battlefields. Still, when used properly, the KV-2 could destroy strong defensive positions with devastating effect. Although only produced in limited numbers, it became one of the most recognizable Soviet heavy tanks of World War II. The T-34 is widely considered one of the most influential tank designs in military history. Introduced in 1940, it combined sloped armor, mobility, and firepower in a revolutionary way. Its 76mm gun allowed it to defeat most early German tanks, while its wide tracks improved performance in snow and mud. German forces were shocked when they first encountered the T-34 during Operation Barbarossa. Although early versions had visibility and communication problems, its design proved extremely effective. Mass production allowed the Soviet Union to field thousands of T-34 tanks, which played a decisive role in defeating Nazi Germany. The T-34-85 was an improved version of the original T-34 designed to counter newer German tanks like the Panther and Tiger. It featured a larger turret and a powerful 85mm gun capable of engaging heavier enemy armor. The addition of a third turret crew member greatly improved battlefield coordination and effectiveness. Entering service in 1944, the T-34-85 quickly became the backbone of Soviet armored forces during the final stages of World War II. Its balance of mobility, protection, and firepower made it one of the most successful tank designs ever produced. Many remained in service around the world for decades after the war ended.